Hello boss babes and bosses out there. If you are an aspiring freelancer and you really don't know how to get this business started, maybe nag-iisip kayo, so paano ba ako makakakuha ng clients online? Paano ba na mas madali akong i-hire ni client? Yung gano'n. I guess this video will really help you land your first client online. Kasi in this video, I'm going to teach you on how to create your own e-portfolio landing page from header to footer. Before I'm going to dive in sa step-by-step tutorial natin, I'm going to answer first sa feeling ko, kina-question na to, what is an e-portfolio? What is landing page? Why is it important? And the likes. So, an e-portfolio landing page, it is a one-pager link na isa-send mo sa prospective clients mo. So, ano ba yung nasa loob ng link? So, sa loob ng link, andito lahat ng details about the problems that you can solve, about the services that you can offer to your clients, and then about you, of course, the process on how to work with you, and of course, the contact details on how to work with you. Why is it important, Sue? Pwede bang sabihin ko na lang agad kay client, oy, hey boss, ito yung sample na ginawa ko na work sa isa kong client. So yeah, you can do that, pero iba pa rin if naka-layout lahat na nagawa mo na ng mga projects with previous clients. Put all your mga output sa isang folder, tapos ilagay nyo doon. Is it for copywriting ba? Is it for graphic designing ba? Is it for video editing ba? And all. I'm gonna teach you paano yan i-link sa ating landing page mamaya. And if you still don't have any client, like this is your first time pa to build your portfolio, then that is not a problem. You can still create this one. It's important because it will be an edge for you. It will give you a higher chance na kayo yung makakuha ng project or kayo yung i-hire ni client as a virtual assistant or someone who can help him or her sa business niya. And it will really help you showcase your skills, your portfolio, your services to your prospective clients. It will be easier for them to contact you. It will be easier for them to remember you if need nila ng services na the same sa ino-offer mo. So what I'm going to teach you now is how to create something like this. So ito, shinare ko sa Instagram ko and I got 90+% na naglulook forward na makagawa tayo ng tutorials. So that's the reason why I'm doing this. This is all for you guys. This is a landing page again. It's different sa website. A landing page is just a one-pager. Pero ang website, it consists of a lot of pages. So I'm just gonna share my screen to you para mas makita nyo kung ano yung difference ng website and a landing page.
Okay, so as you can see here, this is our BossedUp PH website. Nakikita nyo, ito yung home page natin. And then meron din tayong another page for the about. This one, our story, about me, about the team, the intern, and then for the services, meron din tayong ibang page for that. This one, another page for the programs, and then resources, tools, shops. So technically, ang website, madami siyang pages. Whereas, kung landing page, ito, isang page lang siya, pero andito na lahat yung information in just one page. Even though we still have menus here, meron tayong services about ang portfolio. If you're going to click the services, the same page pa rin siya, pero ang pupuntahan niya is yung segment lang or yung part lang ng services. So let's go back to the top, click about. So the same page again, pero doon lang sa part ng about. So the same with portfolio, the same page pero sa part lang din ng portfolio. So yeah, that's the difference between the landing page and the website.
So yeah, technically, you can create an e-portfolio na website talaga. But sa tutorial na ito, I'm going to teach you how to create an e-portfolio na one-pager lang for landing page siya. If you are ready, let's dive in. For this step 1, I want you to know the flow that you want for your landing page. Ano ba yung ibig sabihin ko ng flow? Yung pagkakasunod ng page mo. For me, as someone who does a lot of websites already, and I've done also a couple of landing pages, yung may story to tell talaga siya always. Like, dapat yung pagkakasunod-sunod niya ay tama. According sa kung ano yung gusto makita ni client. It's still up to you on how you are going to make your own flow, but this is what I think for me is working. So the first one is the header. And then, if I'm the client, ang gusto kong information na makita kung ano yung problems na pwede mong masolve. Sa next part is the problems that I can solve for the client. So, if I'm the client, oh, okay, so let's say, marunong pala siya ng email automation. Oh, I can hire hire Sui for creating an email campaign for me. Makikita dito ni clients kung ano yung mga problems na pwede mong isolve or pwede kang makahelp sa business niya. Okay? Did you get what I mean? My point lang here is to have a flow where magbe-base tayo kung ano yung gusto ni client na makita niya. Okay, so again, first header, the second one is the problems that we can help the client kung paano isolve, and then the third one is the services that we can offer na makahelp na isolve yung problem niya, and then the fourth one is that's the time where I'm going to introduce myself na, oh hi, I'm Susie and I can do this kind of things, blah 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 blah. A very short description like an elevator pitch or something like that. And then after is the benefits that they can get if they are going to hire me. And the next section is the testimonial part. This testimonial part is an optional for you guys if you still don't have client na pwedeng makapagbigay ng review sa na work mo. You can just skip this one, but I would highly recommend for you guys to get your own beta clients, pro bono clients, to give a feedback sa trabaho nyo. I will not encourage you guys to put just parang random na review. Kung maglagay man kayo ng testimonial or review, I want it to be totoo talaga na review. You know what I mean? Next one is the tools. In this part here, nilalagay ko lang yung mga tools, software, or apps na mga ginamit ko na or currently ginagamit ko pa, or yung mga may idea ako kung paano gamitin. Nilalagay ko dyan. At least yung client, may idea siya. Okay, gumagamit pala siya ng, let's say, Zoho. Oh, okay, alam niya pala tong Canva. Okay, alam niya pala tong ano ba yung ginagamit mo na scheduling. So you can also put that one sa mga tools na i-feature natin. So after that, I wanted to make a break and put the form kung pwede sila maka-fill out if you want them to fill out a form for a discovery call or for a free strategy for their social media. If you're a social media manager, you can also put a one sa part na to. But yeah, it's still up to you. I just really want to put something like para sa gitna on how they can reach out to us. They can reach out via email or via filling out the form na binigay natin. Okay? The next one is yung portfolio na talaga. Here, ito talaga yung always akong nakakatanggap ng messages na I don't know what to put here. Kasi I'm still a beginner nga and hindi ko alam kung ano yung mga ilalagay ko na sa part na to. I'm going to explain later kung ano yung pwede yung ilagay dyan. Sa segment na yan natin ilalagay yung mga sample works natin. Okay? So after that, sometimes the clients would also want to see certificate kung meron kayong mga nasalihan ng mga webinars or seminars or mga conference, summit or something like that na nagbibigay ng certificate. Feel free to put everything there na related sa work nyo. For example, certificate if nakapag-enroll kayo sa, let's say, bookkeeping course, or let's say nakapag-enroll kayo sa social media course, to video editing. Like anything na pwedeng additional skill mo, put it dyan sa mga certificates. Okay, so there are a lot of free resources na nagbibigay ng mga certificates and even paid ones. You can just search it online. Marami din sa mga Facebook groups ako mga nakikita na nagbibigay na ng certificates even if it's just for free. So yeah, feel free to just browse and explore. So for the step 2 is pick your branding. So I've already talked about now what is branding. It's not just all about the colors. It's not just all about the font, the aesthetic kind of thing when it comes to branding now. But branding is really deep. I want you to check out this video first before moving forward because this one is a very detailed video now. I don't want to waste your time, guys, to explain it again. So just kindly watch this and let's move on to step 3. Okay, so for step 3 is to have a Canva account. If you still don't have an account sa Canva, you can use this link. Ilalagay ko din sa description box natin. You can use that one to sign up. Kung meron na kayo, you can just open your Canva account and then we can start the work from there.
If you are currently logged in to your Canva account, ito yung makikita nyo sa homepage. So again, you can still do this even if you have a free account. Now, what I want you to do is to look for this website. Ito yung pwede nating magamit. Pero kung hindi nyo ito makita, try to browse it here or you can just type directly website. This one, website, we can click this one and then makakakita kayo ng maraming templates na pwede nyong gamitin. Pero nga lang, hindi siya super curated for virtual assistants or for someone who is working online or maybe for a social media manager. So ito kasing ginawa natin, this is really a good template for someone who wants to start working online as a virtual assistant or maybe as a social media manager or even video editor or other niche pa sa freelancing. This is already a good start. This is the template that I'm going to teach you right now. If you are going to zoom out, makikita nyo ito talaga yung tayong kabuuan. So, meron tayong 12 pages. So, ibalik ko. Yep, gusto ko ganito kalaki. If you're going to check the grid, so meron tayong headline, problems, services, about, key, benefits, and the like. So, yan yung ituturo ko sa inyo kung paano siya gawin. So, that is just so easy. Again, I want you to go to website. That one, doon tayo sa blank account. And then here, as you can see, this is just parang naka-blur na image sa background. So, let's look for an image. If you are going to do that from scratch, let's see. Ito na lang siguro. This. And then I'm just going to drag it. And then pag ganito na yung nakikita nyo, parang na-fit siya sa buong page, i-release nyo yung pag-click ng mouse. And then you can do this. Yung transparency niya, i-ano natin as 50. And then you can still edit the image more if you want. But I think this one for me is already good. And maglagay tayo ng text. Ikakopy ko na lang kung ano yung nakalagay para hindi na tayo maubusan ng time. That one, pwede nating palakihin yung text just by dragging this corner here. Lagay natin sa gitna. We can change the color by clicking this and then i-set natin as white and then lagyan natin ng effects para mas mag-stand out siya. Lagay natin as 100. That one. Maybe we can, yeah, this is already bold. And let's use the one that I've set sa kabila, Montserrat. That one. And then, meron tayong button. So, for the button, you can always click the elements and then meron tayong button here. Kung wala kayong buttons here sa choices, you can always choose the shapes. Pwede nyo itong gamitin as button, ganyan. Tapos, i-ano nyo lang, yung ka-size ng button. We want white here. And then, of course, gusto natin ng my border. So, let's click this one and then the border width. And then, let's set it as siguro 3. Ayun. So, that one. And then, ang nakalagay is book a discover call. So, i-copy-paste ko na lang. And then, since white siya, make sure natin na black. Try kong 2. Yan. Ayan. So, now, the next one is this, the logo. So, for the logo, need nyo i-upload yung logo nyo dito. So, click nyo lang ang upload, tapos i-upload nyo lang yung logo. But for me, I'm just gonna try and see kung ano yung pwede nating i-logo here. Just a sample lang. So, for example, this one is my logo. Then, lagay ko lang siya dito. Ayan. So, here, meron tayong navigations. Ito, actually, sinulat ko lang talaga to siya. Like, nag-input lang ako ng text, tapos nilink ko yung text. I'm gonna share with you later kung bakit mas prefer ko ang gumawa ng own navigation compared to letting Canva do the navigations for me. Mamaya, i-explain ko. But for now, let's move forward sa next page. So, the next page is just technically a very plain background lang based sa branding natin. Light pink, and then, itong mga images. So, I'm just gonna add here page. Tapos, let's say, ang color natin is this. Yan. You can set your own branding ha. It depends kung ano talaga yung color niya sa branding. That's why yung step 2 natin, you must know na kung ano yung branding nyo. Yung colors na gagamitin nyo, yung font styles and all. So now the next one is this. Is it time to hire? Your checklist has been generated. So you can also put a real checklist here para they can download. Link it like by doing this link. And you can just put all the checklist here. So for example, this one, if na-overwhelm na yung clients sa workload, and if nasa-stress na siya pag multitask, yung mga ganito, you can put more if you want, but technically, ang paggawa lang nito is simple lang din. Let's say, magnifying glass icon. You can just use whatever logo you want. So for me, ito yung gamitan natin. And then, lagay natin dito. And then for the text, is it time to hire? I'm just gonna copy and paste this one. So here, and then this one, we should use Montserrat. A little bit bigger. Another button na naman. So I'm just gonna copy and paste this one for easier, ano. And then ang ilagay is, your checklist has been generated. This. And then you can change the case. Gusto nyo malaki yung letters, lahat, uppercase. Then you can also insert an icon like, let's say, download icon. It's up to you. Yup, that one, ilagay nyo dito sa gilid. What am I going to do is move this a little bit para magkasya yung download button natin. Ayan. So, ilagay ko lang siya sa gitna. Malalaman mo pag nasa gitna ka kasi, ayan, may makikita kang lines. So, hindi sila pantay. Pantay ko lang din to. Ayun, perfect. Then ito din, ipantay ko lang. Ayun. You can change the background as well. For example, this one, we are using this. If you want a little bit colored like that, or this one, it's up to you. The next is itong part na to. So technically, it's just a frame. If you are going to delete this, frame siya na square and just an element na shape and then text. For this one, let's go to elements and then let's go to frames. Ito. And then ilagay lang natin siya na parang ganyan. And then this one, yeah, I think that's that. And then the corner rounding, let's just put it something like that. Para hindi siya masyadong curve sa corner, we can adjust it to 25. And then the color, let's say the same like this one. And then ilagay natin dito sa gitna. Let's say, ito. Copy-paste ko na lang. Ayun. And then, pwedeng sa gitna, kung gusto nyo sa gitna. Pwede ding sa gilid. And then, pwedeng sa yan. Change the color of the text to that one. Hindi siya masyadong curve. So, let's go back and maybe try doing something like that. And then, let's look for a photo na stress. A stress siya. Like, overwhelming. So, let's use that one. This one, we can group it. Click nyo lang yung group. So, pwede nyo na siyang ma-move around. Let's say, if you're just going to put 4 of this, copy nyo lang. Ayun. Tapos, i-gitna natin sila lahat. So, yan. We can just change mga images. Just drag the image. That one. And then this. Para dapat related din sa mga ilalagay niya na text dito ha. So again, this is the problems na nafe-face ni client. So we want to highlight it first to make sure na, okay, need ko na pala ng someone to help me with regards to this task. Kasi na-overwhelm na ako, na-stress na ako sa pag-multitask and all. So yeah, we can just change the text from here. Then ilagay niyo din yung sa iba. That's that for this page. Here naman, it's really mostly the same lang talaga. So, ito ngayon, sa next page natin, may background siya na image. Yung image natin is like, let's say, desk. Drag it, tapos make sure na parang ma-fit siya ba. Drag, and then fit. I want it to be hindi masyadong, and then shapes lang din. So, for the shapes, I think I would just use this. So, yan, group ko muna siya para pwede ko siyang magamit. And then, ilagay ko dito. Tapos, ang nakalagay, how can a virtual assistant help? So, ayun. And then, let's say, question mark yung ilagay natin dito na icon. Kung icon, dito tayo sa elements. Question mark icon. Pwede din ganito. Ayun, that one. Oops, we can lock it para hindi na siya mag-move. So, yung mag-move na lang is ito. We want to make sure na nasa center siya. So, malalaman mo nasa center siya kung ganito, may line siya. I think I'm gonna, ayan. Pero ayokong masyadong super dikit. So, lagyan natin ng space. So, pwedeng ganyan. Tapos, ang gawin na lang natin, space na lang natin dito. Or, we can just create a text na outside talaga. And then, ilagay na lang natin. Ganyan. Ayun. So, that's that. And then here, just the same. Kuha tayo ng elements. And then, change natin yung color into this. Or here. Then, the color of the border is mas colored siya. So, ayan. And then, lagay natin sa gilid. Tapos, magkuha tayo ng add icon. So, this one. We can put this one here at the top. Tapos, yung icon, let's say, magnifying glass again. This, lagay natin siya dito sa gitna. And then yung text. Ang text natin is, let's say, research. Ayun, that one. So, kung meron na kayong ganito, you can just, again, highlight this all and then click group. And then, pwede nyo na siyang lahat. Kung marami kayong mga services that you can offer to your clients, so pwede nyo siya damihan. Tapos i-change nyo lang yung text at saka yung icons. Pwede nyo palang i-change yung background here. Like for this one, hindi masyadong dark. change din kung ganun. The same as this one. Okay, so for the next page, we're just going to add a new page here. Ito na yung about page natin. So technically, this is just the same text and then may background tayo na nilagay dito. So ito siya. It's another element. We can do that as well. And then ito, as you can see, rounded talaga yung ginagamit natin ng mga elements here. So we can do that. We can add the text. Let's just copy and paste this one. And make sure, bosses, na the same lang yung font style na gagamitan nyo. So this one, I want to make uppercase sa lahat. And then, naka-ano siya, italic. And then, effects niya, naka-lift. So, lagay natin siya dito. Lakihan natin siya ng konti. That one. Put an element here. This one. Tapos, ganyan siya. Ilagay niyo siya sa likod na to. Yan. But you can also do this as well. Effects and then background, and then you can always change the color here sa baba, let's say ganyan. And then kung gusto niyo na hindi siya round, pwedeng ganyan, pero kung gusto niyo naka-round siya, it's still really up to you. And then kung gusto niyo na naka-spread siya or hindi, so for example ganyan lang yung gagawin natin. And then here for this one, gumamit lang again tayo ng shape. So here the shape, lagay natin siya. Yan. Tapos, ang background natin, ganito yung background natin. And then, the image. Go to elements. Tapos, dito tayo sa frames. Rounded din yung gagamitan natin. And then, ito, i-copy and paste na lang natin to para mas easy. Ayan. We can make it more rounded if we want to. Here, kung mas gusto natin na mas rounded siya and thinner. Let's say, ang name nyo is that one. Ayan. And then, maglagay tayo ng photo here. This is just a dummy photo. Let's just say profile photo. Ito na lang yung gamitan natin. I want it to be a bit bigger. Ayan. Done. Pwede nating tiitan ng konti para mas ano siya tingnan. Just the same here. Ayan. The same. Copy and paste lang natin. Tapos, lagyan natin ng meteor for it was done. So, this one is something like that. It's up to you kung gaano kalaki yung gusto niyo. You can extend this one more kung marami kayong isusulat. Pero sa example na to, maikli lang yung ano natin. So you can click text here and then add body. And then, ayan. Lakihan natin ng konti na mas makita siya. Not too much as well. Yan. That is just a dummy text. You can add more here if you like. Pwedeng naka-center lahat. Pwede ding naka-justified. It's still up to you kung ano yung gusto niyo. Okay, so for the next one, ito yung gagawin natin. Ito na yung mga key benefits na makukuha ni client if he or she will hire you. So this one, as you can see, meron siyang image sa background. Let's say that's. Maybe we can use this. What am I going to do is to get this, drag, and then that one. Just the same, para mas madali tayo, I'm just going to copy this and then put this one here. So, dito, ilagay na lang natin sa gitna because I'm using different image. I-change ko muna yung text. Let's say, save time. And then, naka-center siya. So, let's just get an icon. Basta icon, again, elements tayo. Let's say, time. So, this time icon. Maybe you can use this one. And then, put here sa gilid. And then, oops. Para hindi siya mag-move, i-lock natin. Kasi always akong pag hindi siya na-lock. So, we can just put this one, like copy and paste up until sa ilan yung key benefits na gusto nyo na ilagay. And then, just change the text from here. So, let's say, scale. And then, change nyo na naman ang icon ng scale, growth. Ito. So, i-change nyo lang tong mga text and then icons. And then the next page natin is itong testimonials. Again, this is just optional if wala pa kayong mga testimonies from your previous clients. So, now here, the background is just the color. Yung color natin. Copy and paste here. This one. Tapos i-change ko yung text na love from the clients. And then I want it to be a little bit bigger. Ayan. And then, ito, technically, frame siya. Hindi siya sharp yung edge. Rounded pa rin yung corner niya. So, kuha tayo ng elements. I'm so sorry if you can hear backgrounds like laughing. Lagay tayo ng ganyan. You can extend this if you want more space. By the way, here kasi dalawa yung ilalagay natin. And And then we want 5 stars. And then we can use this. Ayun. So let's do that. We can just get this one and then put the client's name. That's why I really want you to use real comments or feedback from a client. Let's say Samantha. Who's Samantha? And then the name of the company, let's say the ABC company. Ayun. So we can just copy and paste this one. First, click the group, then copy mo siya, and then put here na naman sa gilid. So if you have 3, pwede nyong ilagay yung 3 dito. And then just the same here, ginawa natin dito. Kumuha lang talaga tayo ng mga logos na mga tools na ginagamit natin for researching, data entry, and the likes. Gawa tayo in the same. Kasi tapos na tayo sa blank, mag-i-image na naman tayo. Let's say, desk pa rin. Yeah, we can just get it from here and then just drag this and then ayun. I want something na parang hindi siya masyadong cluttered. I'm just going to use this one here. So I'm gonna copy and paste this here sa pinakababa, tools. So ilagay natin uppercase lahat. Icon natin here, tools. Let's say ito yung gagamitan natin. Then here, you can use whatever icon you want. It's just really up to you. Again, I will lock it again, yung background natin. So, ilagay ko dito yung tools. And then, ito na yung mga little things dito sa baba. So, what am I going to do is that I'm just gonna use graphics again. White background, and then the text, I'm just gonna put a text, research assistance. Maglagay lang ako ng line, this, and then move it lang dito. Tapos ilagay lang natin siya sa taas. Tapos another elements inside. I think that's better. Tapos ilalagay lang natin yung mga logos inside. So technically, yeah, iniisa-isa lang namin yung paglagay ng mga logos. Let's say here, the Google logo. This is just purely an example lang ha. Maglalagay na lang ako ng kahit anong logo. But the point is that kumukuha or ina-upload na lang yung logo. Tapos, yan yung ina-adjust namin dito. And I know these are not for researching tools. Some of here are social media. This one is, ito Android. Just a sample lang naman para makita nyo. We can just make this a group and then i-copy and paste natin siya. Tapos i-change yung text dito. So the next one would be here, filling out the forms. So for this one, just the same. Add lang tayo ng page, pero content lang siya na page. Yan lang. Tapos, i-copy and paste lang din natin to. Kasi it's just the same lang naman. It will save us more time. For example, that. Tapos, fill out the prospect form. We can link here the form. So, this one as well. Inquire via email. We can also put a link here by clicking this and then link ito. Let's make this one 18. For example, this one, meron tayong form na i-link. So, let's say, sample lang, google.com. So, ayan, done. Every time na i-click to ni client, mapupunta siya sa Google or sa form nyo. For the next section is the portfolio. So, technically, you can drag here the photos before, and then after you have edited it, you can put it here as well. And then, if you have an edited video clip, you can also put this one here. Or maybe an analytics report. Before, the analytics is really low, the engagement is really low, and you can put a screenshot here where the analytics is really good. You can duplicate this one kung marami kayong portfolio na nagawa. You can put a link text here kung ano pa yung mga other portfolios nyo na pwede nyong ipakita kay client. In this section here, it's just purely a text, a frame, and then we can just copy and paste kung ano yung ginawa natin dito sa itaas. So, okay, here add a page, and then just a pure text. So, i-copy paste ko na lang to. And then, this one, hinighlight namin to para alam mo kung saan ka mag-edit. You can just copy and paste this one. Ilagay natin siya sa gitna. And then, copy na lang natin to. Let's delete the link. That one, you can still also put a link kung meron kayong link sa Google Drive nyo where doon lahat nakasave ang mga portfolios nyo. That's also good. And then this one, it's just a frame. Okay, so let's put here delete this, and then frame dito. Okay, so ilagay natin siya dito, and then ganyan. Tapos i-copy and paste na lang natin. Yan. And then arrow. We want just a simple arrow. Tapos lagyan natin ng before and after. Copy and paste. Uy, naka-ano pala siya, naka-group. Delete natin to, and then let's just put before. Pwedeng naka-uppercase if you want, pero gawin natin siyang maliit. Then yan, before, and then after. I-highlight ko siya lahat, and then click group so that we can copy and paste it na lahat din. And then this one, and then maglagay tayo ng another frame na naman sa gitna. We can use that one, pero pwede natin siya, since this one is na-curve siya, na may outline, we can click this. And then, gusto natin, medyo naka-curve siya, and then lagyan natin ng sobrang nipis lang na border. Ayan, that. And then, let's also put an arrow. We can do something like that. And since sobrang laki niya, ayan, in-adjust lang natin to make it kasha. We also want to make sure the alignment is good. So, for example, this one, tapat ito naka-align siya sa baba. The alignment is so important. I want to use a different arrow, but ikaw, based kung ano talaga yung preference mo. But for me, I'm gonna use this for a little bit fancier lang. Ayun, lakihan natin ng konti para makita. So we are going to flip the image. Flip this one. So, yan. So the next one is this, how to work with you daw, step by step. So if we have a background here, meron akong nakita na maganda. I think this one is too crowded, but yeah, let's just use it. Tapos, I think much better na i-change yung opacity or transparency to 50. And then, ito is just a text. This one a frame. Nagets niyo yung ano, right? Like, we are just really using mga shapes, text, and mga outlines. I-fast track ko na to, okay? Kasi I feel like nagets niyo na yung ways on how to do it, okay? So this one is lighter kasi darker yung ginamit natin. Actually, hindi siya the same sa ginawa natin before dito sa kabila. Pero you get the idea, we can use the color that we want. So for this one, we are just getting the circle and then nilalagay lang natin dito sa gilid. For this one, let's say this or this, and then nilalagyan lang ng border na very very thin. Ayan. Tapos nilalagyan lang ng number sa loob. Tapos i-change nyo lang yung numberings. And then, para mas madali din, copy na lang din natin itong mga text. Ito yung ika-copy ko together with the icon. It's just a sample icon. Pero ilagay niyo yung icon na dapat na icon, okay? And then, yung text, we can just add text literally. So, for this one, it's fill out. And then may ano siya, prospect client form. So this one, we can just grab this. It's just the same. Technically, it's like a button. So we can put this one here and then change natin yung text to prospect client form. Ayan. And then that's that. Then lagyan natin ng arrow, a different arrow. Because I like it yung parang ballpen lang yung ano. So this one, I will just make it a little bit small. So for example, this one, ang text natin is nasa 24. Let's adjust this one to 24 as well para hindi masyadong ano yung text, kahit anong size na lang. And I'm just gonna use this icon again, but you can get something like this. You have to search the keyword for that. Make sure the alignment is good and then the same yung sizes ng text, the same yung font style para mas elegant siyang tignan and mas clean siyang tignan, okay? So, this is for our page kung paano makipag-work with you. Now, let's move on to the next page, which is the certification. So, technically, again, this is just the same. Ikunin na lang natin. Ilagay natin dito sa last part. But, ang ilagay natin, instead of tools, i-change na naman natin to certifications. Again, you can put this one sa gilid or you can put this one sa gitna. But, yes, we are going to put it sa gitna na lang. And then, let's try to look for an icon sa certificate. So, for this one, let's say I'm gonna put the check mark instead. I think this one is so nice. And then here, it's technically just a frame. Maglagay tayo dito ng frame. Kung marami kayong certificates, you can add more or you can duplicate this one. Yan. Kung marami yung certificates nyo, you can just drag this one, drag it, and then here, and then ganyan. Oh, maybe you want to add more space para may space kayo to give more details about the certificates. So, for example, this one. Okay, so this is just a sample certificate. Ayan. So, just tell us kung ano yung certificate all about. So, you can put this sa lahat ng certificates and maybe you can also include the dates kung kailan nyo nakuha yung certificate. So, yep. For the next one is the last one, which is the footer. So, for the footer, add lang tayo ng page. Dito, as you can see, there's like parang edge here. We can use this one and then make this white and then siguro i-change natin yung color na to like a little bit darker para mas ma-emphasize yung curve, and this is the footer. Hindi siya ganoon kalaki, and then we can just type this one in kung ano yung gusto natin na parang navigation for this. Isa-isahin mo talaga siya para ma-link mo siya sa gusto mo na segment or section. So, kung gusto niyo na magka-ano talaga sila, may alignment, you can make this naka-align siya sa left. Align natin siya sa left para sila lahat. Ayan. So, this one, click nyo to, tapos link to home. So, naka-untitled pa to. So, gawin natin, punta tayo dito sa grid view, tapos lagyan natin ng name. Okay, so balik tayo doon para makita nyo talaga. This one, link, and then link here. So, andito na tayo. So, lagay natin siya sa home, sa header, yung pinakataas, and then done. For the services, we can also link that one here and go click services, and then click done. So, the same lang, lahat. So, now, ang gusto natin i-copy is ito. So, kunin na lang natin itong image natin sa itaas, and then ilagay natin dito sa pinakababa. And then, yung mga icons ng social media. Okay, let's do that. So, let's say meron siyang YouTube, meron siyang Twitter, and then meron siyang Facebook. Icon black. At wala yung gusto kong icon ng Facebook. Maybe we can change the color of this. Okay, I'm just gonna change the color of this. But I feel like if I'm going to do that, it's not Facebook. Okay, so let me just settle to this. TikTok na lang. Pwede naman, ang gawin nyo na lang is maglagay kayo ng big circle. Gawin nyo siyang black. And then, ilagay nyo tong Facebook na icon here. Ayan, instead. So, pwede natin tong gamitin kung gusto nyo talagang may Facebook icon. But, I'm not gonna do that. Ito na lang yung gawin natin. Wait lang. Gusto ko na magkapantay sila lahat. Meron akong na ma-make sure nyo na pantay-pantay lahat. You can use the rulers. So, for example, this one, you can just drag sa top and make sure na naka-align silang lahat. Ayan, that one. Ang problema is yung sa gitna, naka-transparent siya. What we can do is that we can do this. Lagay natin siya sa ilalim ng mga yeah. And then position sa back. So, ayun. Wait. Lakihan natin siya ng konti. Iyan na natin siya dito as well. Ayan. So, ayan, very simple lang. You can always adjust this if you want a little bit smaller, something like this, a little bit smaller. It's really still up to you. You can link this. Click mo lang siya tapos ilagay nyo yung link nyo dito. The next is that, ito. So, yung nilagay natin dito, we can just technically copy and paste it. And then, ilink nyo lang din dito yung sa email nyo. Ayan. So, again, click nyo lang to tapos link, tapos ilagay nyo yung email nyo. Ayan. Just so easy, right? Okay, so after that, balikan natin yung main navigation here. So, ang sinabi ko sa inyo kanina na mas mabuti pa na maglagay na lang talaga tayo ng own menus natin. Like, for example, we want the menu or we want the navigation sa services. Tapos, sa portfolio. And then, contact us. The reason why kasi, eto, pwede natin siyang malink directly sa services. Yan. Ito, directly sa portfolio. Saan ba yung portfolio? Ayun. This one naman, sa link, sa contact, or talagay natin siya sa About Me or Book Now. So, here. We can do that. Preview muna natin para makita nyo. Ito yung preview na ginawa natin. Wala siyang nakita kasi frame lang yung nilagay natin kanina. So, yeah. Itong mga ganito, naka-frame to. Yung parang magda-drop ka lang ng image. So, pwede din siyang mobile. So, this is what I like about this one as well. Kasi nag-a-adjust siya mismo for mobile. Now, pag i-publish natin, kung lagyan natin ng include navigation menu, lahat ng pages na nilagay natin, ilalagay din niya as menu. So, let's say this one is sample. Ayan. If I'm going to publish this with with navigations. So, tingnan nyo, lahat ng navigations, ilalagay niya. So, view the website. So, ito siya. Tingnan mo, meron siyang header, meron siyang problems, services, lahat. So, if you want na lahat, isalin nyo, you can tick on the include navigations. Pero kung ayaw nyo or gusto nyo lang na 3 ang menu or 4 yung menu, you can just create here na lang. You can just type it. Like for example, this one, services. Pupunta siya services. Portfolio. It will go down to the portfolio segment or section. Then the contact us as well. Ito. So if gusto nyo na andito lahat, you need to tick here. Ito. I-tick on nyo to siya. Dapat naka-check siya. Pero kung wala, let's say, ganyan, i-republish natin, wala na yung nasa itaas. So, magbabase na lang tayo sa navigation na ginawa natin mismo. So, this one. So, wala na yung ganito. So, ito na lang yung navigation natin. Still up to you if you are going to create your own navigation here or you will just let Canva do it for you. Ang nakaganda lang din kay Canva is that nakahanging siya. So therefore, kahit andito ka na sa About Me, you can still see the header. Unlike here, sa ginawa natin, kung andito ka na sa part ng About Me dito, ayun, hindi mo na siya nakikita kasi ang nilagay natin na text is a header part lang talaga. So, yep, ayun. I'm excited to see and check kung ano yung ginawa nyo din na e-portfolio using Canva. So, drop your link below sa video na to and yeah, i-share natin and ma-inspire tayo sa mga e-portfolio din ng iba.
So that's how easy you can create your own e-portfolio that you can send to your prospective clients. And I will guarantee you that if you are going to send an e-portfolio, guys, if you are applying for work as a social media manager or as a virtual assistant, like you want to do business with your target customers, I would say it will really help you get a higher chance makakuha kayo ng clients or makaland kayo ng projects online. So, if you want something na instant na, you will just have to maybe change the text, the color based on your branding, the images, then you can get or snag our VA e-portfolio landing page template. Not just that, if you are going to get it, you can get it in a very affordable price. Aside from the instant e-portfolio, you can also get a PDF guide on how to use our template. You can just message message us sa Facebook page natin if you are interested, or you can just buy it sa website natin, BossedUp PH.com. So yeah, we are happy to share that template with you guys in a very affordable price, but I would highly recommend na itry nyo gumawa ng own portfolio nyo because it's also like a practice, especially if you are still new to this industry. It will be like a practice for you on how to use Canva for your graphic designing skills. I would be happy if mas matuto kayo paano siya gawin talaga, but yeah, it's still up to you. You can buy it or you can create your own. I really hope to see you guys on my next video. If you want this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at 𝐵𝐸𝐸, and don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page as well, BossedUp PH. Join us in our Facebook group, I'm Ready to Boss Up by 𝐵𝐸𝐸. If you want us to check your work, you can join our paid Facebook group as well, Becoming Social Media Manager. Don't forget to follow me on my Instagram as well, at 𝐵𝐸𝐸 and at BossedUp PH. So yeah, hope to see you guys on my next one. Bye!